Disembarked in 45. No one spoke, no one smiled. There were too many spaces in the lines. You ever heard that song? Gather at the cenotaph, all agreed with hand on heart to see the sacrificial knife. Now stands upon Southampton dock with her handkerchief and her summer frock, clings to her wet body in the rain. Quiet desperation, knuckles white upon the slippery reins. She bravely waves the boys goodbye again. It's a weird song. Keeps repeating itself, doesn't it? Favorite part is still the dark stain spreads between their shoulder blades. Mute reminder of the poppy fields and graves. When the fight was over, we spent what they had made. But in the bottom of our hearts, we felt the final cut. Shin. Ta. You understand? Through the fish-eyed lens, tear-stained eyes can barely define the shape of this moment in time. Far from flying high in clear blue skies, spiraling down to the hole in the ground where I hide. This dude is so transparent with people, it's ridiculous. And he's just telling you there's a system that's trying to control everything you do. See, what he's not telling you is how to beat it, either because he doesn't know or because he's part of the deception. That's a crazy song. Anyway. Was a safe in a permanent gaze of a cold glass eye. Their favorite toy. They'll be good girls and boys. That's a crazy song too. Fletcher Memorial, home for incurable tyrants and kings. Home for colonial wasters of life and limb. Is everyone in? And you can hear someone say how. And he says, are you having a nice time? Now the final solution can be applied. This is where it gets into this word. But first, let me just say again about the whole Pennsylvania thing. Pe, meaning mouth, and penna, meaning face, and to turn. And literally that stuff manifested on the stage. I saw a picture of the stage. You can go look it up if you want. It's an aerial photo. But on my notes here, a picture of it. It was red. And it looked just like that if you were sitting on the bleachers behind him. It's literally the letter Pe, which transforms into penna because your mouth is on your face, but it's showing priority. Pe. Penna. So, you see what I mean? So, for some reason, his stage looked like the letter Pe, but that's... And red, you know what red is? I've said it already. It's TV, all the radio signals, some radar, shortwave radio, AM, FM. And it's the color of a dictator, because it's the material king that doesn't have the spiritual authority. That's a totalitarian, that's a dictator. But remember, these words are just describing something that can be used. Dictate just means you speak and people listen. So God does that. But see, who does he give authority to do that? The only man who ultimately has the ultimate authority is Messiah. So a dictator or a tyrant is somebody who's trying to... Tyrant just means absolute power. So you can't... There's so many word games, but a true tyrant is somebody who's trying to act the powers of the Most High without giving him recognition. And a dictator is somebody who's trying to be Messiah. He's an anti-Messiah. That's why the red, because I don't want to go over all of it for time's sake, but it's interesting that I spoke about Hitler, I think earlier, or maybe it was on another stream, I can't remember. But there's two Hebrew words that I want to go over really quick, and it has to do with Revelation, where it says he will divide the land for a price. But the Antichrist always wants to do this stuff. And the price is human lives, by the way. It's happening right now. The land is being divided for a price. There's money involved, there's human lives involved, all kinds of things. So, it's the word halak. There's a word in Hebrew, halak. There's another word in Hebrew, and it is host. Now, I'm not going to do the addition for you because certain supposed rules. In Greek, that word means a whole burnt offering. It's used for the whole burnt offering and sacrifice in the Greek translations of the Bible. And there's a word play on it, like a hollowed cost, like a holy price. Hollow, illusion or distraction price. In Hebrew, halak. Let's see. Smooth things towards your portion. You habitually wheedle. Halak means to divide, share, or apportion, and the emphasis appears to lie on the assigning of a part of something divided rather than the actual dividing. Our verb is most often used as assigning parcels of land. Maybe that's what happened. You have to look up the transfer agreement. Literally, Nazi Germany did the transfer agreement to transfer these people to Palestine with all the devices and everything and money and funding to develop land and farming. Divide the land for a price. Or inheritance, but also assigning parts of food, clothing, spoils, duties, and even establishing cooperating military contingents or opposed factions. So camps, relocation camps. Do you understand? Read that book. Was it Against Our Better Judgment or something like that? And this woman goes over what I'm talking about, basically. The IDF existed in those relocation camps, but that's beside the point. Tract of land, reward. This is halek, halak, halka, halkupa, meaning part or portion. Mahaloket, meaning division as part of a larger organization. Those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Halek means to be smooth or slippery because there was a certain Austrian that called himself a German, which Austrian is Germanic, but it's smooth or slippery. He had a slippery speech. It can be physical smoothness, but it's used for smooth speech and flattery or seductive wheedle. Basically, kind of like a hypnotizing thing. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it's using a lot of hand motions or something. Halek meaning smoothness or seductive speech. Halak means smooth. All right. Helka meaning smoothness, slipperiness, or pleasant nonsense. That's funny because it was pleasant. He was promising a lot of things. Trump says a lot of pleasant nonsense. But this word identical to Helcha meaning field. Haluk meaning smooth. Halakha meaning smoothness or flattery. Okie dokie. So smooth speech. And this other Hebrew word, host, it comes from hasa, means to take or seek refuge. It's used in the down-to-earth context of seeking refuge from a storm. There's a storm coming, as Trump says. But more often in seeking refuge with a greater power, which in Scripture, sometimes it was Egypt, sometimes it was idols. Sometimes there's the true God. Men find refuge. And another Hebrew another Hebrew verb that expresses trust is bata. Um, a host meaning refuge or shelter, like a youth hostel. Why do you think it's called a youth hostel? Maseh, meaning a place of refuge or shelter. And there's also another name for this event. It's called Shoah. It's supposed to mean ashes or something. It's some like Frenchized thing. Franchise. Um, that's funny. Franchise, because for the French are just the arm of the Vatican. French Revolution, American Revolution. Put the pieces together. Shoah though means independent or freed. Indicates a free man, financially independent person. So basically, with the transfer agreement, all these people who transferred over there became dead. All their debt was gone. They were another person. And they shipped them over to Palestine in cattle trucks. And this is documented, but they don't like you to see that because it shows a different plan happening. Rameses. Okay, so if the word host and halak, meaning that in Hebrew, are a coincidence, then I might as well just drop on the floor and stop moving. Okay, so I did that part. And I thought during the last break, thought, if that's thought, then that's word, that's mentis, that's mine. To say you're Thoth incarnate, literally you're being anti-Messiah. And that's why now the true light has come into the world, meaning we had this kind of access was given to the nations. The light was given to the nations, as is prophesied through Messiah, because people were able to seek this through the Holy Spirit. The Most High would lead them to it. It's like he led me to it. And whoever watches this has the chance to look it up too. So the true transgression now, it says in the New Testament, or you could say the new investment. There's the old investment and the new investment. Both are still investments. And the Most High wants return on investment. So true light has come into the world, but they loved the darkness rather than the light, because the light exposes their works. So let's just say that you have children, and for some reason the names you give them happen to be bad. It's because something is manifesting. You know what I mean? And this happens even with, like, it's when I take someone's name, like Kamala Harris and Biden, it's like literally Biden time for the international trade and Belt on Road Initiative, which is going to be Russia, China, India, and the supposed Israel, but that's run by a bunch of Soviets. That's why the leadership doesn't look like the army. So it's like, what is this actually going to look like? Because if Afghanistan's going to go along with it, they're already in talks with China and stuff like that. They were in talks with Trump before Biden did the whole pullout. I don't know if you remember that, but Trump did deals with the Taliban. And so let me just show you guys this real quick, just to prove the peh thing too, because you can look this up. There's no reason for me to lie, but sometimes I just feel the need to like be like, look, I made a little CD holder thing. There's the peh right there. See how it looks like a crook? It looks like a pharaoh's crook, a pharaoh's crook. Come on, man. Actually, let me go over Pharaoh really quick. So basically, yeah, Hitler was a pharaoh. Come to that conclusion. I got clues from his own book. I read Mein Kampf, and he always talked about the goddess of this and Providence and yeah, the god of this or the goddess of that, and ether and the globe moving through the ether, barren and lifeless because people decided to blah blah blah, not listen to me. Um, Mein Kampf is literally Mein Kopf. It's my outstretched hand, but it's also like my encircling, my cop. It's really weird. Like that mind, that's like you can't make it. It's in all language. It has to be Adam's language because it's in all language, and the Shemites preserved that. And Shem outlived Abraham 35 years. People forget that. What happened when Shem died? Israel went into slavery in Egypt for 400 years. Not full slavery. At first, they were just living there, and it made the progression until they became slaves. They were sojourners for 400 and some odd years. So it's talking about Egypt, and Egypt ruled the world because Shem died. You understand? Now you got Putin giving gifts to America by giving them all the freaking, letting them fill in the gaps of the oil and natural gas and all this energy stuff. And then meanwhile, Russia's having deals with China, and China's the boss of America because China has literally bioharvesting labs in America, and they are the ones doing most of the genetic stuff. And I'll tell you this right now pretty confidently. I confidently believe that China right now already has all the chips or whatever it is needed to mark. If the 2026 thing, like you got to be ready by then, is true, and this thing isn't a coincidence of Rosh and of 2024 and Shin. What do the Chinese do? Every year is a certain animal. Isn't it weird? They might have saw something a while ago, but they kicked people out up into the Himalayas. You ever wonder why the Himalayan people look more Semitic? It's because these Asiatics, they don't like Semitic people. The Chinese have all, and the Japanese made a lot of this technology, or at least improved a lot of this technology. And the system owes a lot to them. So basically in Gaza, they have the IDF has a system, an AI system called the Gospel. It's an anti-gospel though, because Messiah came not to destroy life, but to save it. These people made an AI system to destroy people called the Gospel. So it's basically going to scan. You can find every Semitic phenotype, meaning facial type. Just look up phenotype. Phenotype, face. It's everywhere. Panopticon. You know what a panopticon is? You're going to find out very soon when China reveals itself as the actual progenitor of all these things. And we're under a AI social credit system that doesn't like Semites, targets them, and annihilates them. Watch the movie Dinner for Schmucks. It shows you this with the intelligent Semite. He brings the lowest Semite to this meeting where they're supposed to make fun of dumb people that they bring. But this guy, even the lowest intelligence of the Semitic, can still have like this. If he has a pure heart, he can see things that these other guys, these rich people, these successful people couldn't see. And that's why they want to get rid of them. That's why they do genetic research. They do genetic research because they're trying to get rid of something. All right? China didn't have Smyrna in their injection. If you watch the other episodes, you know what Smyrna is. SMYRNA. China didn't have that. AstraZeneca. Astra is a star. Zana is harlotry or sexual immorality. Okay, what am I going over now? I'm gonna go over Pharaoh. That's what I was gonna do. Oh yeah, I was actually gonna go through this song. It's Bob Dylan's song, where it seems like it's supposed to be God questioning mankind in the form of two blue-eyed, meaning bright-eyed, children, male and female, basically Adam and Eve. And it's, oh, where have you been, my blue-eyed son? Where have you been, my darling young one? That's the the body of the church and the church government, all kinds of stuff. Um, Check this out, though. I've stumbled on the side of 12 misty mountains. It's where there's 12 tribes. I've walked and I've crawled on 6 crooked highways. There's the rim fan. I've stepped in the middle of 7 sad forests. 7 heads. The woman is seated on these things. Peoples are referred to as forests. People are for compared to trees biblically. I've been out in front of a dozen dead oceans. An ocean is subconscious, the unknown. It's literally people who can't rem. It's Romulus killing Remus spiritually. I've been 10,000 miles in the mouth of a graveyard. And it's a hard rains are going to fall. What is hard rain? It's not just contaminated rain, but it's rain with like higher hydrogen or something like that, more hydrogen atoms or something. It's got more energy in it, more multidimensional energy in it. It's charged up. It's charged rain. It's literally like radioactive rain. It's like God's wrath put on rain. Water is a medium, kind of baptizes you if you're out in it too long. Oh, what did you see, my blue-eyed son? What did you see, my darling young one? So it started off of where have you been? Now it's what did you see? I saw a newborn baby with wild wolves all around it. That's literally the China bioharvesting labs. It's insane. There's so much proof. I don't have to say anything else. And I've seen the videos. I know why those people went to prison. Because they exposed something very, very dark. I saw a highway of diamonds with nobody on it. You know, the diamond lane is supposed to be for more than one occupant. It seems like a highway of diamonds is the information I'm telling you right now about the words and everything, but nobody on it. But when I hear it, I always think of the diamond lane, and you have to have more than one person. So for me, when I hear the highway of diamonds with nobody on it, I also think of nobody actually having any friends or companions, true friends or companions. Can't get in the diamond lane. I always heard it that way, but it's actually a highway of diamonds with nobody on it. I saw a black branch with blood that kept dripping. I saw a room full of men with their hammers a-bleeding. It's the workers. A lot of the drama usually comes out of the workers because they hold everything together. I saw a white ladder all covered with water. I saw 10,000 talkers whose tongues were all broken. Remember, America literally means as if they were all talkers, speakers. I saw guns and sharp swords in the hands of young children. You understand? He's talking about Vietnam. I don't know if Vietnam happened yet. I think it did when he wrote the song, so. But it's happened before, so he could have wrote this song before or after. And so now it's not C. Reuben is C. Simeon is here. Coincidentally, now it's what did you hear? Isn't that something? What did you hear, my blue-eyed son? What did you hear, my darling young one? Remember, David had blue eyes. The nobility of Jerusalem was ruddy, light skin with brownish red hair and blue eyes. The nobility of the pharaohs was that too. That's why Abraham got along with pharaohs, why they liked his wife and thought she was beautiful. I heard the sound of the thunder that roared out of warning. It's a storm. I heard the roar of a wave that could drown the whole world. So that's maybe the apocalypse, because the wave is the unknown, the unconscious. And literally, this information is everything. And people are so brought down dimensionally that this could drown the whole world. It might be referring to what might have spiritually been happening with Noah and the flood. I heard 100 drummers whose hands were ablazing. I kind of felt like that was people like me and people who speak it out, because it's literally like I've been streaming almost every day, and I'm probably going to be doing a lot of it as long as I'm not physically working. I don't have anything. I'm not getting any work yet. I'm going to keep doing this because it's like I can't stop. But anyway, and remember, Jeremiah said, if I try to not speak in the name of Yehovah, it's like there is a fire in my insides. I cannot keep it in. So it continues. He says, I heard one person starve. I heard many people laughing. I heard the song of a poet who died in the gutter, because nobody cares about the actual truth. Usually poets are bringing that out. I heard the sound of a clown who cried in the alley. That's the comedians. The comedians are suffer with depression. So hard rain's going to fall. And then what did you meet? Interesting, because then the next one is Levi, and that means to be one and be covenant with. This guy's going in the... That's weird. Who did you meet, my blue-eyed son? Who did you meet, my darling one, young one? I met a young child beside a dead pony. That's all the children given a false future, the American dream. It's a dead pony. That's they're bound to be disappointed, because the parents and the grandparents are all perpetuating Americanism. And so I met a young child beside a dead pony. I met a white man who walked a black dog. It's probably a light-skinned Hamite walking a dark-skinned Hamite. You understand how they get people who are actually the same people? Like they're closer genetically. A light-skinned Hamite is closer genetically to an African than a white European. They're both white though, and the other guy's black. Do you understand? It's not your skin. I met a young woman. Her body was burning because men don't do their responsibilities. It gets put on women, and they can't take it. I met a young girl. She gave me a rainbow. So the young children still give hope, but it's like, it seems like something is bound to happen. It's negative. I met one man who was wounded in love. I met another man who was wounded in hatred. It's very interesting. Hard rain's gonna fall. What do you do now, my blue-eyed son? The next son after that was praise, Yehuda. But it's like an ultimatum. Are they going to give praise or not? Because it doesn't say about praise, even though the last three were see Reuben, hear Simeon, meet, become one with Levi. So what do you do now? And he says, I'm going back out, for the rain starts to fall in. I'll walk to the depths of the deepest dark forest. Meaning you'll speak to anybody, because nobody's your enemy. Where the people are many and their hands are all empty. These are, I don't have to explain that. Deepest dark forest, where the people are many and their hands are all empty. Where the pellets of poison are flooding their waters. Where their home in the valley meets the damp, dirty prison. Stay home, stay safe. Isolation. And the executioner's face is always well hidden in some kind of pouchy. I'm just being stupid. I just said that just so I had an excuse to say his name. Anyway, but it's actually even more hidden than that. It's Trump. Fauci uses the mask. Pun intended. Where hunger is ugly, where the souls are forgotten. Where black is the color, where none is the number. It's talking about AI takeover. If you have noticed, past couple of weeks, past month or two, they've admitted this too. They allowed the AI to control search engines and stuff and create things also. So if you look up images and you scroll long enough, there's images that look like the AI created that, like how that Mid Journey and stuff works. Cause I never used it, but I know that's the popular one with creating AI images. And you just like put words in there. And I think sometimes you can add pictures, but it's mainly like words and it searches through like a database or something. But yeah, black is the color and none is the number. And I'll tell it and speak it and think it and breathe it. That's what Paul told Timothy. Be in it. And reflect from the mountains so all souls can see it. And I'll stand on the ocean until I start sinking. It's Cephas. Or Kepha. Peter. But I'll know my song well before I start singing. See, it's a lot wiser to get it all before you speak it out. So that's just a very, very interesting lyrics. Let me pull up the Pharaoh thing. Remember I had about that guy who was a Russian Soviet, called himself a, who down in Whoville. Those who know. That's what he claimed to be, and he invented he invented the mobile gas chamber. So it was a Soviet, and those Soviets who call themselves, who, duh. I make myself laugh. They went into what is now called the State of Israel, and they are Soviets, and they care nothing for Semitic people, and they are out to genocide through China, Russia, India, with the modern state in Palestine. Will genocide all Semitics first, because they're the most likely to not worship the image of the beast, because their mindset is based on their world and others, but also it's about reputation and name. They're not going to give that up for things very easily. So let me just go over the Pharaoh one, because I already went over some of this. I don't know if I went over that. I think I went over azimuthal. Azimuthal literally means the precise drawn out or measurement of God. It says that God drew a circle on the face of the deep. But anyway. Name Pharaoh mean great house. Let's see. Somebody's trying to call me potential spam. Okay, para. If it calls again. Okay. Deborah. Yeah. All these things at Rosh, para. Yeah, long hair. Para describes long hair that is not or barely confined in a bundle or ponytail. A lot of the pharaohs would do this. Say ours is part of a group of words that also describes cognitive quality of being familiar with something, and more specific, to be afraid of something. See, this is where it gets fiarun from. fear. Far, faro. Para means a certain hairstyle. See, and then that's like a trendy hairstyle. Now you got Trump and Hillary Clinton or hair icons or whatever. This is very interesting. And it basically just means a leader in general. In general. Not sound like in general. Interesting. Yeah, I can't do all this part. Basically, the whole Egyptian system ran off of anarcho-capitalism, and it's just the system that was and is not and keeps rising up, but it's going to destruction ultimately. Messiah was and is rising up, but he is not going to destruction. He's the one who puts the destruction on the is not. So I think I got everything through here. Remember, ascension is satanic. It's actually stretching you so that you're almost touching the fourth and almost touching the second. And so you're confused and you don't know if you're talking to demons or what you're talking to. When you're standing on top of the two, expanding out, then the Most High gives you the knowledge to know who's talking to you. It's literally a different dimension. All right. So let me make sure I got to everything here. Rosh. Isn't that so weird? All the things I went over, all those words. Tavistock. Tesla. Teflamid. It's interesting because Aleister Crowley claimed to talk to a demon named Lam. So literally the scholar. He's talking to something that might as well be called Talmud. That's funny. Even in the Metroid thing I'm going to be doing, it's on Talon 5. What's a Talon? Talon is this. It's a dimensional sphere. A Talon makes the shape of a dimensional sphere. See, Talon 5 is the fifth dimension. The hunter goes into it. I think there might be 5 different zones in it too. There's the ice one, the lava one, the green one, the ancient one. I'll have to see when I do it. I might start it randomly. I don't know when. Just when I want to do it, I'll do it. And maybe I'll start doing the church streams on Saturdays so that I could just go over the notes that I went the first time. Just now with all this stuff, more is going to come out and it'll be more solid. And I won't be mentioning certain people from the past that I don't want to mention anymore. That's why I want to get rid of these videos. So it's been like 40 minutes. I don't think I have anything else. Because I know there's got to be something else before I leave here. So let me just kind of look through here and maybe I'll see something. Let me get this out of the way here. So Aleph says it's rare, means to learn, but also to produce thousands. Alep means to produce thousands. So Aleppo. Aleppo is a main city because it produces thousands. So when people who are running for president go, what is Aleppo? They don't even know what learning is. They don't even know the Aleph. That's the whole point of that Gary Johnson guy. Beth is house. Bayit means house in the sense of a building, but also household. Going into a house. So a bayonet sounds like that. And a bayonet goes into your house. And spills all the contents out of it. Gimel is Gamal's camel, means to deal or sense of benefiting from. It's international trade. Daleth, Dala, water, Dalet. Trying to see if anything will strike something in my mind that I forgot. Vav means a hook or a peg. You know what? I'll do this. So you know how I said the whole Rosh and Shin and Ta. So if Resh is 2024, let's just do a little experiment. Let's end this with an alphabet experiment here. Resh 2024 and 2023 would be Kop. And it has to do with coming around or a circuit of space or time. So you remember Biden time for international trade. Causing a circular motion. All that shows is a note the ear of an axe or a needle at the back of the head. And that cap means to go around or compass. Cop can also mean ape. Because a man with a larger upper body than a lower body is the type with like a kind of a round head is the type they kind of look for a cop. And even I said that I didn't watch the movie because that some of these cartoons are disturbing. Some of the animations. It was called Zootopia or whatever. I remember the commercial. They had the cop was an ape. If you remember that. That's not a coincidence. So 2023 cop. That's very interesting because the whole trial and everything. So then 2022 would be Tzadeh or Tzadik. Sud is to hunt. It means fish hook. So fishing and hunting. What were they doing? They were finding the January 6 people. It also means to be righteous, but it might mean to just be right. So it made me think of the Scottish rite of Freemasonry because Sud, I connected to the Scottish in a previous video, and it's hard to argue with what I presented. So that's 22. 2021, hair, mouth, but also to cleave. So what was happening in 2021? They were telling us all what to do. They were telling us what to do with our penna, our face. All right, so 2020, ayin means eye. Don't touch your eyes. But also as a means of expression. When you put the mask on, all you have is your eye's expression. Knowledge, character, etc. The word ayin means spring or fountain. Wash your hands. The eye is one of the 4 bodily fountains, the other 3 being mouth, skin, and urethra. It produces water outwardly. Okay, you're sweating on it. But it has to do with cleansing or purification. So 2020 was all about cleansing and purification. Was it not? 2019 here would be Samak. Means lean upon, support, uphold, laying on of hands. So keep your distance. Don't touch anything. That was the beginning of it, 2019. Probably some other things. 2018, none means to propagate, increase. Maybe the economy or something in 2018. What was that? 2018. 2017, mem. Like the memes, the meme warfare started. It actually is mem, which means waters. It's unknown, subconscious, and also baptism. Remember we had Pepe, the frog? It's literally a twice cleaving of the mouth. That's 2 mouths. Pepe literally means 2 mouths. He's a frog. In Revelation, the demons that come out of the mouth of the false prophet, the beast, and the dragon are demonic spirits that fool all the kings of the earth to go to war on the last day in Israel, but it's not against the people you might think. And they demonic spirits look like frogs. So literally when Trump comes out, it's meme warfare. It's 2017 meme warfare. Sea, ocean. And there's all kinds of other things that manifested like that. So this is 2017, right? Yeah, so 2016 is lamad, means to learn or teach, where you get Talmud and scholar. 2016 scholar. Who was teaching you? Who was stepping up as the new scholar? Who's the true scholar, the true teacher? See, 2015 kaf is an outstretched hand asking for something. But also ka is like to be like something. It's 2015. That's when Trump actually did his campaign. Wanted everybody to be like him, wearing the MAGA hats. People were literally dressing up like him, putting on Trump wigs. It's insane. 2015 to 2014 would be Yod. And it's a word for hand that's holding something in a fist. So all that BLM stuff or the Antifa stuff, I think was like 2014, wasn't it? All right, 2013, Tether. 2013 was when the Freedom Tower was finished building. And it's to spin something, interweave. These are going a little back in time where I'm not going to be able to put these together, but I'm going to speak them so anybody watching might remember this stuff. So 2013, Teth. 2012, Heth. Remember when it was 2012 they thought the world was going to end? Oh, hello, Bellicose Hyperbole 737. Thank you for saying it's good stuff. All right. 2012 they said the whole world's going to end. Mayan calendar. Mayan has to do with water. And it means to fence in or destroy. Guess that's a coincidence here. Because Heth is the Hittites, and that's terror and dread. So we were doing a lot of warfare in 2012 because terror and dread was one of the moons of Mars. Mars is supposed to be war, or at least bloodshed, fertilizing the soil. It's supposed to be the fertile field. So fence in and destroy 2012. A lot of weird stuff happened in 2012 that has to do with fencing and destroy, by the way. 2011, Zayn. Words don't occur in scriptures, but they suggest it's from a weapon. It's 2011. Weapon, but also can mean arm ornament, to adorn, moving things, or doorpost. It's very interesting. Or zun, to feed. That's why the Zamzuman literally were like the sexually immoral who feed off of it or possibly people. The Zamzuman were Rephaim, which means sunken ones. Okay, so what was that? 2011 is what I said? Yeah. 2010, Vav, which means a hook or a peg. It is strictly reserved for hooks, pegs that kept the curtains of the tabernacle in place. It's very interesting. 2010. 2009, He, meaning lo or behold. So I think that's when Obama became president in 2008, right? So 2009, all that war must have started then, because he was at war his whole entire, like, he started like the Infinity Wars of America, basically. So 2009, I think it was. Yeah. So 2008 is Daleth, meaning to draw, usually water. Delete. Specifically denotes a swinging door of a building, so it's an open door. Maybe it's the open door that no man can shut, and that's what's speeding up all these things. 2008. Okay, draw out door, a bucket, a branch, a bough. Daleth. It's 2008. 2007, Gimel, camel. So maybe some international trade thing was happening. 2007, 2000. And remember, we were in Iraq and stuff. 2007, 2006 would be bath or house. And Aleph would be 2005, learning. Learning from what? If you keep going, 2004 would be Ta, a mark. Signature. We invaded Afghanistan in like 2003, 2004. 2003 would be Sin or Shin. So China, maybe China's involved because there's a lot of Semites in Iraq. 2003. 2002, Rosh. I don't know if Russia or any. Yeah, disenfranchised. There's stuff happening after 9/11 that they were blaming certain people who had nothing to do with it. So that's 2002. 2001 would be Kopf or Cop again. Circular motion to go around. Compass. Patriot Act. Patriot Act. 2001. Year 2000. Sadiq. To hunt. Weren't they hunting Bin Laden or something in 2000? You can just keep going. Crazy. It's wonderful. It's what the biblical fear of the Most High is. It's such awe at the power that you know what it can do. So it's a fearful awe. It's not a irrational fear. It's totally rational because it's what holds everything together. It's the power of everything. And you better hope that you give back a little in the investment, because people try to make a false Christianity where they're like, oh, Messiah died on the cross so that you can just not do anything. It's like, no, Messiah gave the parables about investment. Messiah is the second investment, the new investment. The first investment was Abraham and Moses and David and all that. But that came out of Abraham. Now, well, Israel basically was Jacob. So it's really Jacob, but Abraham. It's just great. It's too much. I think this is it. 53 minutes. So again, 2026, every single year that passes, it gets clearer for me, and now it's just so unbelievably clear. It's insane. And that's why I think that's going to happen. I think this year is going to be the culmination of the gall in the venom of the disenfranchised. And that's who they're actually fighting against. Remember, the whole world's fighting against the Rosh. Right? The leadership of Russia is Malachite. It's not about the leadership of Russia. It's about the word Rosh. They're at war with the Rosh, the people of Rosh. That's all over the world. It's the occupied zone. That's why the name Rosh, Chief of Meshach and Tubal, they claim that means the chief or ruler over the occupied zone, that is the world. So it's going to be the world leader, the Antichrist. That's why Putin said, whoever achieves true AI, whatever that is to him, first will be Lord of this world. It seems like he wants that. They all want it. It's just who wants it worse. So, I don't know, but Putin's already very, very wealthy. So he might just be doing this as part of the plan. Get rid of the Dagestanis, boost the American economy, while Biden and Kamala are literally the adding of Biden for the international trade to come through. The Shin and Sin are going to be the sharpening of weapons and mouths. And what happened this last week is going to foment that because it's trying to get the Rosh to sin. See how that it's not a coincidence. And then it's Ta. The whole experience is going to be clear to anybody, I would assume, of any age. It's going to be so clear that they're going to make that decision in 2026. What are they marked with? The mark of the Most High, the Father, and the name of the Son, Ben Elohim. Or it's going to be the mark of the beast, and you're literally going to accept the status and rights of animals in order to be cared for like a livestock animal. And you're going to be streaming and playing video games and being the god of freaking VR. It's like, man, I can hear people in the background. So I'm going to end this because the internet is not a business for whoever's talking outside. So I'll see you guys another time. Maybe the next time will be Saturday with a church stream. Maybe I'll just randomly stream the first day of the Metroid thing. I don't know. It's not me. The wind blows. Spirit, wind, breath goes where it wishes. You hear its sound, but you don't know where it's coming from, where it's going. So are those who live with the spirit. I might just not do the Metroid thing suddenly, but I think I am. But just know, like that's how it works. Oh, can't hear it. Where else can I find your information? Oh, thank you for saying that because I'll post the Telegram link. That'll give you all the links, but I'll also I'll where's the Telegram link? Well, just in case you don't have Telegram, I'll post both. So let me get this invite link, copy link. And I'll put this in the chat. Um, and and if you can't hear the conversation in the background, at least tell the person to be more conscious about their voice because I don't know what they're saying. And if somebody turns it loud enough, they might be able to hear it. That's not my fault. All right, so t.me, that's the Telegram. And let me I'll just put this Masuda Sud. I'll just put a random, you can go to this link. And I'll put no. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the Hebrew alphabet link to the website. And you can get to anywhere on the website through there, but that's like the beginning is just looking at the alphabet. So let me put that in the chat too. So in case somebody doesn't have Telegram, they could still go and get these roots. It's weird. And just let God take you somewhere with it because you'll just think of words. You'll be like pe, you'll say calf. It sounds like this and that, like calf, a hollowed thing. Your calf kind of looks like a vase, like a hollowed thing. Maybe the muscles look like something too, and that's why they called it a calf. A baby, a cow is a calf, and it usually is very bony. Its bones are sticking out. It's new. It looks like a hollowed out thing because it has such a big uh it has such a big diaphragm basically that it's like it's a hollow thing. So all these words come back to this. So I'll just leave. Next time you see me will be I don't know. The world can end, bro. Like you're supposed to do your purpose until you can't anymore. That's it. This is what is it? Fear Elohim and follow his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's what Messiah said through Solomon. The Koheleth is literally Messiah. Messiah wrote Ecclesiastes. Anyway, through Solomon, but or whoever wrote it. I think it was Solomon. but that's what the Koheleth is, the Covenor. But it's just look up at Kop and Heth. To circle, Heth is to fence in, destroy. But it's only because in death, your next life is your actual final form. So it's just interesting that Koheleth, Kop, the Q one, not Kaf, but Kop, and Heth, and Lamed, scholar, literally Kop, Lamed, and Heth. You put those together, that's Messiah, Koheleth. It's just amazing. So I'll put this music back on, and I'll see you when I see you. And if you don't remember this music, it's what I used to put on my introductions when I read the thing from Titus to Titus, my beloved child in the common faith, peace to you from God the Father and Yeshua HaMashiach, our Savior. I think that's what it was. And I had this music, so that I'm going to leave, and hopefully I can post these things on other channels. It's hard for me to upload it by myself. Maybe I'll get some kind of secretary type person one day that I can actually give money to help me with this, because I feel like it's going to be important. Building houses will be important, so I want to learn how to do that, but kind of feel like this is actually the thing that I'm going to be doing at the end of all this. So, all right, let me start this music. Baruch Hashem Yehovah Shaddai, Baruch Hashem Ben Elohim Yeshua HaMashiach, and Baruch, blessings to you. You know what? Let me read that. I'm gonna read that because I want to. The priestly blessing. Let's see here. Let me search this up. I want to say this correctly here. Don't rematch the phrase. Apply. Here it is. All right. Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Speak to Haran and his sons, saying, Thus you shall bless the people of Israel, Yisrael. You shall say to them, Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace." Amen. Or lift up his face, turnings, all the dimensions. He's multidimensional. Let him lift up his countenance, his face, his full dimensional blessings, infodimensional. So anyway, there's all that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to post all this in the Telegram after. I don't know if I'll remember everything. I'll try to post as much as I can. There's a certain topic in the Telegram. There's a section that you can. It's all. I'm trying to compartmentalize it. Anyway, so let me start this music. I'm over an hour already. Yeah, sounds cool.